I know one of the questions that I've seen come up again and again from people is the question of what it means to be chosen. It's something that people talk about when they talk about the Jewish people, that they are God's chosen people. And
Sure.
I think sometimes there's a little bit of a misunderstanding of exactly what that term means. Do you want to speak to that a little bit? What does it mean for the Jews to be God's chosen people?
So, I mean, obviously, scripturally, we can see that they're, the apple of God's eye. This is the type of language that we see used about the people group. We can go Genesis 12:3 goes early as that, where, you bless those that bless God's people, you're blessed. You curse those that curse God's people, you're cursed. Out of this group will all nations of the world be blessed. I mean, you could take that language to the furthest extent. Chosen, I think, is God chose them to initiate his plan for humanity. And through that people group came who we know as Jesus. That doesn't mean they're not chosen now, because God has to deal with them based on his covenant. So his covenant, while it was ratified in Jesus, doesn't necessarily change. So if you could keep all 660 whatever laws that they have, that's going to be between you and God on whether or not he'll give you salvation. But we also know that in the New Testament, that law was given so that we might see how frail we really are and that we can't keep it, and that we need a savior or a Messiah. And so from our perspective of an evangelical, one of the reasons that we do what we do is not just because of our connection to the Jewish people, and not just because we have a scriptural mandate, as we saw there in Romans, to share with them in the good that we have as Christians, but also to hopefully see the Jewish people saved. They're looking for a Messiah. We know who he is.
Yeah.
And again, we don't go out and proselytize Jewish people maybe the same way we would anyone else, because there still is that differentiating factor that they are still God's people. Now, does that mean they can do no wrong? No, the Israeli government does what it does, and sometimes I agree personally, sometimes I don't. There's geopolitical stuff there that we could talk about all day, but that doesn't mean the people are perfect. That means God is sovereignly still has his hand on them. What does that mean in full context? You'd have to ask God. Like, I can't answer for him. But I know when he cuts covenant, he doesn't change it. So he doesn't negate a covenant that he spoke to the Israelite people. But on the other hand, he did ratify it with Jesus. And so there's a space in there that I think we could argue about what that means. So do I believe God's people are chosen? Yes. What were they chosen for? Well, they were chosen for the purpose of Jesus coming, this lineage that we are going to see of the Messiah. Post the Messiah, what are they chosen for? Well, they're still chosen as a demonstration of God's people, separate in covenant through their worship, and that this is what God's people can look like when they come to worship together under the laws of God. So